Lily, what are you doing? Like, really?
This is good B-roll stuff for when Andrew gets it.
Yeah. What is up, you guys? Matt McKeever here with Emma. And so there's going to be a series of videos coming out on my channel in the near future with Emma, just kind of talking about condos as well as Emma's investing strategy. And I thought, why not do kind of a formal introduction? So Emma, if you don't mind, just kind of explain to us how you got into real estate, how you became a realtor,
cool.
All that good stuff.
So I am Emma Pace. I work with Zoocasa Realty downtown here. One of the first agents to start with Zoocasa, actually. And I focus on the condo market downtown Toronto. So I started in real estate in May or March of 2015. I started with a traditional brokerage kind of off the get-go, doing the classics, Kijiji ads and open houses and the door knocking and the classic lead gen that way, which went very well for me. I did like quite a bit of business in my first 6 months, and I had originally interviewed at Keller Williams, but didn't decide to go with them. However, Keller Williams, I don't know, is it big in London or?
Yeah, they have a decent sized presence. Keller
Williams is fantastic at the follow-up with agents who have interviewed there, right?
Yeah.
They have a very good strategy. They have an amazing training program, right? So a gentleman, Jamie, that I had interviewed with originally for Keller Williams had added me on Facebook, and we sort of just kept in contact. And he just wanted to know, you know, how are things going as your first 6 months as an agent? And I was like, they're going well. I'd done quite a few leases. I'd closed 2 sales. And he ended up posting something, and it was like, team at Keller Williams looking for buyer's agents. But you have to make X number of dollars in order to even qualify to get there, right? And I was like, shit, I'm not really quite there, but I have the hustle and I have the drive to make that happen. So I messaged him and I said, I'm interested to come and apply for this position. Can I come by and talk to you? And he was like, yeah, you can come by and talk to me, but I don't think you're like quite at the level that they're looking for to get hired on. And I was like, that's fine. Let's cross this bridge once I get there. So I get there, I interview with Jamie, and he was like, okay, I'll introduce you to Lauren. Through sort of some convincing and begging, I was like, I'm not gonna make you look bad, I will make you look very good, and let me just kind of do my thing. I got this far. Yeah, like,
just get me
to the next level kind of thing, right? Yeah. So I end up interviewing for a position at Zoocasa, being nowhere in the ballpark of the income level that they would have liked me, or experience that they would have liked me to be at that time. But somehow I was fortunate enough to convince Lauren to hire me on. So they actually took me on as a showing specialist originally for one of their top agents, right? Okay. So my goal was, like anything in life, you can learn anything you want on the internet, for the most part, right? Like anything that you want to learn, the information is there. The issue is like, what order and process do I put this in, and how do I shorten that time? Yeah. And oftentimes, for me, I don't know if you guys think the same, I'm fully down to pay to speed up the process, right? So I was taking on an hourly rate at the time, actually, and a portion of commissions versus getting commissions to do showings and sit in on buyer consultations and do all that kind of stuff. So I was taking less money than I was probably even earning before for the opportunity to like kickstart my career and just like jump into being like an awesome agent, right? So I did that for probably 3 months, and this was supposed to be like a year-long process, but things just went so well, and the agent that I was working with needed to take a break at that time. So Lauren was like, listen, we kind of have an influx of leads. Do you want to give it a go, right? And I was like, hell yes, let's do this. So things went very, very well for me. I think I closed like 2 or 3 deals in my first month with them at that point in time. So that was kind of like a taste of the hard work, the money that you can make, and just like, it was also the reassurance that like I actually have it. I know what I'm doing now. Like I've got a good foundation. So fast forward to now, I've been with Zoocasa for 3 years-ish. I think I was with my previous brokerage for about 6 months or whatever it was. We do typically about somewhere in the ballpark of 3 to 10 times the average agent downtown. So I don't know the exact statistic, but it's somewhere in the Trev board the average agent here does like 4 deals a year, right?
Yes, yeah.
So this year I'm on track to hopefully do like, I'm hoping to do 50.
Oh wow,
right?
So 1 a week essentially.
1 a week, yeah. Hopefully I can do 1 a week. I'm at, I want to say 30, I think I just got to 30, right?
Oh nice.
So I still got a little bit of time, but the goal of the company is like, they provide us leads, as kind of as many as we want realistically, and then we can also bring in our own leads. It's kind of like your split is dependent on that. They they very much helped to fast track me to be the agent that I am today, because in the last 3 years I've probably done the same amount of business that a traditional agent would do in like 10 to like 12 years, or something like that, right? So I've gone through the entire gamut of problems and processes and experiences and every type of different deal, and I kind of found my niche in the condo market, and now I'm trying to like sub niche that more into like the Airbnb investors. And I think that's so smart. Yeah, I think that like you say, like there's more than enough business for everyone to go around. There's, and I really want to like carve out being that specialist. And that's kind of like what I've been doing. I just haven't marketed myself as that, and so now it's kind of like I'm trying to tie it all back in as like the traditional brokerage and the tech brokerage all together, right? Yeah, so touching upon a couple of the items you mentioned there. So when you first started getting into real estate, like as a realtor, what made you decide that? Like, what kind of drew you to becoming a realtor? Well, funny story, like reverting back to who I was, or who I still am, I guess. Yeah. I was a DJ originally back in London. So we had kind of, and I was DJing with a friend at the time. We had maxed out our there's only so much opportunity in London for DJs. So we had started getting booked gigs in Toronto, and I was actually working at Enterprise Rent-A-Car at the time, right? Oh, okay. So first of all, just to say, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, if you want to learn about business, it's not the best pay. Amazing experience to work there. Amazing. You're gonna work like a dog for like terrible money, essentially, because you're working like hours and hours. But I'm telling you right now, you want to learn how to run a business, work at Enterprise. Cool. So I was actually very happy. I was actually very, very happy there. Great. I mean, I've played sports my whole life, so it's very great team experience and whatnot. But it became like I was sacrificing my goal of coming to Toronto, which was DJing, to work at a company that like, I'm not saying I wouldn't stay there, I would absolutely stay there long term. I can definitely see long-term goals, but it was like, I had to pick or choose one or the other, and I was like, I moved all the way from London for this, like I don't want to give it up, right? Yeah. So I was thinking, what's another job that I could do? I've always been interested in real estate. My aunt's a mortgage broker. Like I've just always been interested in real estate. So I was like, what's another job that I could do that might provide me a little bit more flexibility to do this passion project of mine, and give me the flexibility to work and make like a half decent living. And then now here we are. I'm not really DJing much anymore because the real estate thing is just taking off, and it's just like, I think that I've just sort of found my next passion and my next niche, and I love everything about investing, and I just love everything in real estate, so I'm just kind of like, that's awesome. Gone in. And so you mentioned when you first started becoming a realtor, you focused on doing a lot of leases. Do you mind kind of explaining or sharing that? Yeah, so I think that there's this perception of a hierarchy when you start in real estate, right? Where it's like, I'm not good enough to jump into what I want to do, so I'm gonna do like what I know right now. And what I didn't own my own property at that time, so I felt like, let me maximize the lease, and I'll be the lease person, right? So I learned everything there was to know about, the buildings down here, rates, what you needed to have, and I just started working with clients. And it's actually, if you're starting out as an agent, if you don't want to burn sales, start doing leases, because you're going to run into some similar problems, and you're going to really learn how to problem solve and work through those things at a... the stakes are less high. Yeah, it's like, it's not going to burn so bad, because you will burn deals, and it's not going to hurt you so bad if you burn a lease versus if you burn a $600,000 like condo deal. That hurts, right? And it has hurt me in the past. My first 2 deals actually came from lease leads that I had. Oh, okay. So I ended up figuring out, my script and my strategy, and that was to figure out, okay, is leasing actually the best thing for you at this time? Or are you leasing because you're just uneducated and you don't know what the process is of buying. So I met 2 clients and they were like, I would love to buy, but like, I don't know if I have enough money. And then they would tell me how much money they have. I'm like, you have way more money than most people who are buying right now. So I was able to sort of convert them over that way. So that was kind of my strategy at the beginning, right? Figuring out, you know, truly what the best option was for these people. The other thing too is a lot of people who lease here will become buyers, right? So maintaining that relationship and doing that follow-up with them. And
so now you kind of specialize in condos, right? Or at least that's kind of the impression I get.
So I do some freehold homes downtown as well. I specialize specifically in the downtown market. Like I used to do everything at the beginning of my career. I've gone from literally Bowmanville, which is like on the other side of Durham and Oshawa. So super east to Oakville in one day because I was like, I'm just hungry. I want to do everything, right? And then I realized I am burning out and I'm stretching myself too thin. So now I focus specifically on the downtown core. I'd say 90% of my clients are condo clients and 10% are freehold buyers, but I know both markets very well.
And then so like, is there a reason why you were kind of gravitated towards condos? Like, was it because you were doing leases? Or was it
no, you want to know what it was? It was a natural progression for clientele base. I do very well with our generation, and I think I've done very well with kind of like explaining the process and making it like an easy sort of like bite-sized step-by-step process for people so they can
demystifying it.
They can very much understand like this is the beginning, this is the end. My goal is to get you there, but my goal is to get you from A to B first and then from B to C. So let's go through these processes together. So I think that they've just been like, I gel very well with our generation as sort of my clientele base, and they happen to be in the condo market. That's what they're looking for.
Gotcha. And so Airbnb, how did you kind of get pulled into that?
I had a friend at Enterprise who had 2 Airbnbs, and he was doing he was clearing $100K a year off his 2 Airbnbs.
That's awesome.
On top of the Enterprise thing, right? So he was doing all right, and I was just like, wow. That seems awesome. I want to learn more about this. I did what I don't recommend doing, which is leasing and then releasing a place. But I did convince them to cross out the sublet clause in my lease. So technically I was allowed to, but I just had this like feeling in my gut like I'm doing something wrong. So I did that for a while, and then my moral compass was like, don't do this anymore. But it was very, very, very lucrative. And then I ended up getting another place with my buddies just over here in 2 buildings that are authorized to do so. So I've kind of had the 3 in the past. So I've got a lot of experience that way. And just the cash flow opportunities and the gross monthly income that you can get from that versus traditional rents are like night and day difference, like almost twice as much, right? So I think from an investment, I like to invest like you guys like to invest, but the opportunities are not here in Toronto, right? So I'm not necessarily like a speculation investor. I'm more of like the burn investing, arbitrage type of opportunities, or how do I cash flow to make my mind think that this is like, or that I know that this is going to be a great investment. And I think that Airbnb is like one of the very few ways downtown, unless you have a ton of money to put down, that you can actually cash flow in the condo market.
No, I think that's great advice, and it definitely Emma's opened my mind to the possibilities of downtown renting, because we met up at a recent Cash Flow Go meetup here in Toronto, and you were sharing with me some of the numbers and stuff, and it was interesting because it's actually much more feasible to get close to that 1% rule than I would have ever otherwise thought about. And we'll dive into that in a separate video. This video is probably going on long enough, but there's going to be a lot more content coming out on my channel with Emma. Otherwise, if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to get in contact?
You can reach out to me at my email, which is emma.pace@zoocasa.com, or you can shoot me a DM on Instagram, PACEOFBASS.
Awesome. So I'll put a link in the video description down below if I remember to. I sometimes forget, guys. But you guys like calling me out on the comment section. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and otherwise, until next time, remember, making money is a team sport. There's more than enough money in this world for us to all make it, but if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point? Thanks, guys.